Very good evening. Welcome to State of Business on our television. I'm Ashingsani Veerasinghe. Let's have a look at the headlines for today. Consumer Affairs Authority warns Prima on wheat price hike. Parliament adjourned due to poor attendance. News in detail. The price of a loaf of bread goes up by 2 rupees with effect from midnight today as the Prima Ceylon Private Limited announced the price hike in wheat flour. Thus, the price of 1 kilogram of wheat flour produced by the company was increased. Thereby, the Bakery Owners Association has also decided to increase the price of a loaf of bread by 2 rupees with effect from midnight today. Nevertheless, the Consumer Affairs Authority mentions that legal action would be executed against Prima's move to increase the wheat flour price without its consent. Sri Lanka Build Corn and Wood International Expo 2019 kicked off today at the BMICH for the 8th consecutive year under the patronage of Minister of Megapolis and Western Development, Patle Champika Ranawaka. The exhibition organized by Showcraft International Sri Lanka and FutureX Group India will go on till 8th of September 2019. More than 150 exhibitors from around the globe showcase their products at this year's exhibition, which is titled as Building Sri Lanka Together for a Brighter Tomorrow. The event consists of various events such as the International Conference for Interior and Exterior and the Conference on Infrastructure Development in Sri Lanka. Thereby, Sri Lanka Build Corn 2019 will benefit all stakeholders of the construction industry at every capacity, including architects, civil and structural engineers, interior designers, contractors, etc. Significantly, the event aims to fuel the growth of Sri Lanka's build, construction and wood manufacturing industries as well as infrastructure development of the country.
This International Expo, which will be held from 5th to 8th September, is a timely program and has significant importance for Sri Lanka in the wake of its rebuilding efforts. Therefore, I am thankful to the organizers and commend them on their commitment towards uplifting not only Sri Lanka's construction industry but also our economy under a very relevant theme, Building Sri Lanka Together for a Brighter Tomorrow. A program of this nature is of utmost significance, especially at a time that we wish to encourage tourism, investment and build strong business relationships to become a more successful nation. Sri Lanka is a country endowed with natural beauty, abundance of resources and intelligent people. It is my belief that this year too there will be an exchange of knowledge, new technology, fruitful networking and productive partnership that will result in positive outcome for all those who have participated.
The Parliament was adjourned till September 17th after the government withdrew the day's business today. The opposition called for a vote after the government moved day's business, but the government had to withdraw it as there were no sufficient parliamentarians from the government side. The debate on the regulations under the Sri Lanka Export Development Act, which was taken up in Parliament yesterday, ended without a usual vote, and the House was suspended for a 10 minutes period due to a tense situation. The issue was created following the presiding member, Sri Vijay Vikrama, announced the names of Bandula Gunawardana, WDJ Senaviratna, Mahindananda Aludgamage, S. Premaratna, Ananda Aludgamage, Khadar Mastan, Thurai Rajasingham, Susantha Punchinilame, Lasantha Alagiyavanna, Minister Dr. Harsha De Silva, Ajit Manna Peruma, A.M. Nasir to join the debate, but none of them were present at the House at the time their names were announced. Presiding member Sri Vijay Vikrama once adjourned the session and again she was ready to allow the House for a vote. However, Speaker Karu Jayasuriya suddenly appeared in the scene and adjourned the sittings to hold a party leaders' meeting, and he said it was scheduled earlier. The Speaker, after resuming the sessions, announced that in agreement with the party leaders, the right to ask for a vote lies with the Leader of the House, and the vote would be taken on some other day. However, the Parliament was adjourned this morning till September 17th after the government withdrew the day's business. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe, justifying the decision of taking time for the vote on the debate, said the subject minister informed him that he has to clarify some matters responding to members so that the debate should continue for the next day.
The minister has asked for time to come and clarify some of the issues that have been raised. So since the minister is not here, we have asked that it be taken up tomorrow when the minister will clarify what the issues and reply. That's all that has been asked for. And at the moment, no one has moved under 46 either. That the question now be put. They are not moved. So as it is now, the minister must come and Honourable Speaker clarify it.
Yeah.
And since the government, this is a government motion, the government must have the right to decide when to put it to voter. We had some backbench members speaking, and the minister was coming to clarify many of the issues that have been raised. For instance, there were also other issues to be raised. I was following, for instance, one of the honourable members said there has been no growth at all in this country. I mean, what nonsense is this? Even the central bank said their growth, it has suffered a bit because of the bomb. So all those facts and figures had to be given and to be answered. So that's why they've asked for time, because the minister is not available at the moment.
Stay tuned for more news after this short break. Welcome back after the break. The Tourism Crisis Management Office in Macau lowers its travel advisory to Sri Lanka from level 2 to level 1 after 5 months from the Easter Sunday terror attacks. The Tourism Crisis Management Office in Macau issued a statement on 4th September claiming that it has relaxed its level 2 travel alert imposed on Sri Lanka to level 1. However, despite this, the GGCT also alerts Macau residents who intend to travel to or are already in Sri Lanka to be vigilant of the security situation and follow closely the development of the situation that might affect their personal safety there. The Yala National Park is ranked number 6 among the world's best national parks by the celebrated National Geographic in its recently published book 100 Parks, 5,000 Ideas by Joe Youngust. Thus, Wildlife Conservation Department Deputy Director Ranjan Marasinghe referred to Youngust's ranking of national parks while delivering the opening remarks at the Wild Lanka International Symposium 2019 organized by the Wildlife Conservation Department at Water's Edge on Monday. National Geographic's 100 Parks, 5,000 Ideas was published in February, and its author Joe Youngust has worked in Asia, Africa, Europe and North America. As ranked by Youngust in this book, Wrangell St. Elias National Park in Alaska, Torres del Paine National Park in Chile, Theodore Roosevelt National Park in North Dakota, Kakadu National Park in Australia, and Jasper National Park in Canada are the top 5 national parks. Yala National Park tends to really fly under the radar, but it's one of the world's most diverse national parks. It's primarily known for wildlife, especially leopards and elephants. But the park also has terrific beaches, ancient rock temples that are still active places of worship, and a choice of lodges or camping for overnight stays, Youngust said in his book. Meanwhile, addressing the 2-day symposium themed Innovation and Conservation, attended by wildlife enthusiasts, researchers and officials, Tourism Development Wildlife Minister John Amartunga added that a scientific approach is required for conservation of wildlife as the successive governments depend on it to lift tourism income. Delivering key suggestions for the country's improvement, the Chief Executive Officer of LTL Holdings, UD Jayawardena, highlighted that state-owned enterprises should be independent without having any political interventions. The Chief Executive Officer of LTL Holdings made these claims addressing the IESL Ray Vijayawardena Memorial Lecture 2019, which held under the theme of transforming local engineers into global entrepreneurs at IESL Auditorium last Wednesday.
Then everybody talks about the state-owned enterprises. I was telling some people before the lecture also, solution is simple. There's now things like electricity board, water board and all. They have to obey this, they are controlled by the treasury because of just one bill, 1971 Finance Act. There's under the certain clause, Secretary Finance can give the approval for this organization to be free. At the moment, if you take any corporation, who is the chairman? Chairman is the minister. Who is the CEO? Secretary to the ministry. Who is the CFO? Treasury. So how can an organization run in this country? Give them independence. We have very good managers, all these places. I know personally. They'll do a very good job, give them independency, release them from this Finance Act. They'll do a very good job. That's very easy to do. I think it's just one letter from the Secretary of Finance releasing these people. As long as these people are under the Treasury and the Minister being the Chairman and the Secretary being the CEO, you will never come up.
Now, a review on the stock performances for the past week and a stock forecast for the coming week will be brought to you by a subject expert at First Capital Holdings.
The market continued to be on the slow side with the downtrend continuing this week with some profit taking in selected counters. The downtrend actually accelerated on Friday with heavy selling pressure, especially in the banking sector counters after Ceylon Bank announced a large rights issue. The turnover levels continued to remain moderate with ranging around the 500 million to 800 million rupee mark. Retail and high net worth investor activity was heavy in the market. However, foreigners continue to be on the selling side with most blue chip companies seeing foreign selling. We expect the outlook for the equity market to be weak in the upcoming week as well, with the market correction continue to weaken the sentiment. With the weak sentiment, turnover levels are also likely to slowly decline as investors may look at bargain hunting only on selected counters. The overall market, of course, is unlikely to have a heavy selling pressure with confidence levels improving amidst the low interest rate environment. We expect foreign selling in the market to continue amidst the weak global outlook at the moment.
Stay tuned for stock updates after this short break. Welcome back after the break. Trading at Colombo Stock Exchange ended on a negative note today. The all-share price index dropped 51.68 points to close at 5,798.57 and the S&P SL 20 dropped 42.18 points to close at 2,817.76. The turnover was 631 million rupees and over 41 million shares were traded. Up next are forex rates. That's all the news for today. Join us tomorrow on Biz Roundup. Until then, take care.